You just realized your business needed to hire someone yesterday. How can you find amazing candidates fast? Easy. Just use Indeed. Stop struggling to get your job post seen on other job sites. With Indeed sponsored jobs, your post jumps to the top of the page for your relevant candidates, so you can reach the people you want faster. According to Indeed data, sponsored jobs posted directly on Indeed have 45% more applications than non-sponsored jobs. Don't wait any longer. Speed up your hiring right now with Indeed. And listeners of this show will get a $75 sponsored job credit to get your jobs more visibility at Indeed.com/kidsandfamily. Just go to Indeed.com/kidsandfamily right now and support our show by saying you heard about Indeed on this podcast. Terms and conditions apply. Hiring? Indeed is all you need.
Welcome to Invest in Yourself, the Digital Entrepreneur Podcast. Join the Podcast Mogul Phil Better as he interviews successful entrepreneurs that make their living in the digital world. Now, let's join your host, Phil Better, and his special guest today on Invest in Yourself, the Digital Entrepreneur Podcast.
Welcome back to another enlightening episode of Invest in Yourself, the Digital Entrepreneur Podcast. I'm, of course, your host with the most, Phil Better. And today we have a truly exceptional guest whose work is transforming the way we think about health and well-being. Joining us today is a man of many talents. He's a general practitioner, emergency physician, documentary filmmaker, author, and photographer with over 25 years of experience as a freelance doctor across Norway. Our guest has conducted tens of thousands of consultations, gaining a deep and unique understanding of the diseases that impact our lives. His insight has led him to explore how stresses of the modern lifestyle are often the root cause of many of our health issues. He's also the author of the groundbreaking book, The Pulse Cure, which has dominated the Norwegian bestseller list for an incredible 69 weeks and counting. This is the first book to thoroughly examine the significance of the heart rate variable, providing readers with a practical and holistic plan to improve their overall health. The Pulse Cure has been translated into 5 languages, further spreading its vital message across the globe. In today's episode, our guest will share his journey, the key concepts from his book, and how understanding heart rate variable can be a game changer in achieving better health. If you're looking to take control of your well-being and make a lasting change to your lifestyle, this conversation is going to be one you don't want to miss. So let's dive into the fascinating world of health with the insightful Dr. Torkil. I'm not even going to attempt to pronounce his last name. Please welcome him to the show. Doctor, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you, Phil. Great to be here. So my last name would be Færø. That's how I would pronounce it in English anyway. So,
all right. Well, at least we're good there. So, Torkil, I want to know, what made you decide to go into this? I know you're a physician. You could have stayed being a physician and just enjoy that lifestyle that comes with a physician. Why did you transfer over, wanting to help more people? What was it about it to make you?
It was actually to help more people, because as a doctor, and I still work hard time as a doctor, a lot less now, is being an author and an entrepreneur, building a social website and so on. But I wanted to reach more people, and just by the last book, it has probably been doing more good for the health for more people than the 25 years I've been working until now as a doctor. So that's a good thing, to be able to spread your knowledge about all over Norway and around the world. So the book has actually been translated into 8 languages now. So not just the 5 you mentioned. So it's upscaling, yeah. So it's an interesting journey. I like to do new things. So suddenly being an author, from being a doctor, obviously to different worlds, and then also being a digital entrepreneur and building website, and trying to create a team that can work well, and learning all the things that I haven't learned yet. So it's and also investing in yourself. And investing in yourself has always been my way of investing. So my friends have been investing in stocks and probably made more money, but I've always been looking for how I can grow, how I can become wiser, read books, go to workshops in different subjects. So it's a good thing, because that nobody can take that away from you. If there's a crash on the stock exchange, you still have your knowledge and your connections and so on.
I love that. And it's very true. The best return you get is investing in yourself. Like you said, you get that knowledge, you get that connections to others who have the knowledge that you may need and can help you through it. I want to know what was I know you wanted to help more people, but was there a specific moment where you realized, yeah, being a doctor, I can help a lot of people, obviously in Norway, traveling and helping them. But was there a specific moment where you were like, I need to help more? Like, was there an impetus that just changed the way you were looking at your life as a doctor and how your knowledge can help more people?
It was, I think, when I got the idea that I could write books, because I was then 45 years old. That's like 10 years ago. And the idea had never crossed my mind that I could write a book. I was just a normal person and a normal doctor. And suddenly I was reading a book from Jack Canfield, The Success Principles. And in that book, he said that, why don't you write a book? You just need to know a little bit more than the others. You don't have to be the perfect expert in the field to know 100%. You just have to know like 70% more of the other ones in the field. And then I thought, okay, maybe I can write a book. And I started writing a book, first on photography, because I was doing a lot of photography. And then as years have gone, I've been writing books that have more and more been bought more and more, and now I have 3 bestsellers, and the last one is then a huge bestseller in Norway, and translated, as I said, into multiple languages. If you had told me that 10 years ago, when I got this crazy idea, I would not have. I've been laughing at your face. Yeah. So. That must have been the moment where everything started, and then things have just lots of serendipitous moments, and just taking the another one and ended up here. Yeah,
I love it. You have a website of, I think you mentioned close to 40,000 or just over 40,000.
4,000.
4,000, sorry, 4,000.
That's a lot in Norway. If you would compare that to American standard, it would probably have been for like 400,000,
Yeah.
That's why people live here.
What is it like serving a community of 4,000 Norwegians on getting their health better, managing the stress? Because I'm guessing that comes with a lot of stress as well, since you're helping them deal with their stress, which is creating a different level of stress for yourself. How has that made you feel and changed the way you look at dealing with stress?
Yeah, what we have made is a social website where people help people. So I found out that one person helping 4,000 is just one person helping 4,000. If you can make 4,000 people help 4,000, and not just from the kind of vertical teaching, but also horizontal teaching, people teach each other. That is the base of this website called thepulscure.com. So we are now setting it up also for the international audience. So far, it has just been a Norwegian one. If you go there, however, you can see a very good lecture where I talk about how to use wearables for regulating your stress levels. Wearables like Garmin, Apple Watch, Oura Rings, all these new gadgets that can track our stress balance. So now the challenge is to take it into the international audience and make it grow there. And of course, that's somewhere where we haven't been up till now. So this is like an interesting adventure where anything and nothing can happen, and you're kind of at the steering wheel of it yourself. So we're still learning new things. But the good thing is to start local and then go global. So our Norwegian website is working perfectly. We have webinars, we have workshops, we have blogs, and it's kind of a Facebook-ish place where people help people. You can ask a question and there will be experts and normal people answering you and giving you advice on how to manage your health better, how to with a particular focus on preventative health, to avoid you getting sick, instead of waiting until you get sick and then doing something about it. So and now, of course, we know so much about the different strategies that can help us from getting sick, from getting all these lifestyle diseases that will be 80% of the diseases in today's world, that I know very well as a doctor.
And as a doctor, when did you become aware of how powerful wearables were to preventing most of these issues and helping with dealing with people's stress?
Yeah, that was about 5 years ago. Then I heard this concept of heart rate variability. That is the measure of our stress balance through heart rate variability that the wearables can detect. You can see if you are stressed or if you are de-stressed or in the recovery state. And to have a sustainable stress level, you have to have a good balance between these two states. And of course, that is what the wearables will give you the answer to. Whether you are stressing too much, whether you are exercising too much or too little, you can see whether you are eating the wrong things, if you are sleeping enough. You can get a measure of your fitness level and all these things that will help you and guide you to a better health, because we don't really have a sense of our stress levels. We never needed it throughout evolution. All our good senses are directed outwards, our eyes, our sense of smell, our hearing, and all of this. But our sense of our own internal stress levels, that has never been needed. So we don't have that sense. And by tracking the heart rate, we can have some insight into our own stress levels. It's kind of a window into our autonomic nervous system that is so important for our health. So, and that we ourselves have this instrument that is taking the power from the doctors like me and the healthcare system and putting it into your own hands. So you have control of a lot more control of your health than otherwise. So, of course, I was not the only one that did not know about heart rate variability. And my book is still the first one in the world that is a guidebook on how to use these wearables, incredibly enough. So, and it's such a powerful tool. And that is why the book has sold so much, because it works, because people start using the wearables, they start following the advice in the book, feel better, get more energy, feel more refreshed in the morning, and are able to perform better, which of course would be perfect also for your listeners that are entrepreneurs. And that is the time that you really need all your available forces to push you in the right direction. So you don't want to leak energy to things like alcohol, food that you can't tolerate, poor sleep, and not being having good fitness levels. You need good cells. You need a good brain, and that doesn't make itself. You have to help, really, by having a lifestyle compatible with good health.
I want to touch on this because you have 25 years of experience as a freelance doctor, and of course you've seen the impact of stress on health firsthand. With I think everybody kind of has, with the overindulgence and saving us. But could you share maybe a specific case or example where addressing the lifestyle stress led to a significant improvement in maybe one of your patients or one of the followers of the Pulse Code?
Or just myself.
Or yourself, yeah.
That's
study.
Yeah, because I used to do everything wrong. So everything, all the good advice that I'm giving in the book, I used to do wrong. I used to weigh 40 pounds more than I do today. I did not exercise at all. I was working as a doctor with irregular nights and working too much and all of that. I was using nicotine, even smoking at times. drinking a couple of glasses of wine every day, as I thought it would be a smart thing to do. Yeah, did not care about what I was eating. I had no idea that it was that important as it is. So for me, and then what triggered everything was that my father died at 73, and I understood that if I keep this lifestyle, I'm starting to look like my patient. So I understand that I would probably be looking at becoming like 75 years old or so. And I need 20 more years at least to do everything that I want to do. So then I started realizing that, okay, I have to change my lifestyle totally all around. So I did that step by step. And that will, and those steps are what I'm talking about in the book. And then feeling better, having more energy, performing better, being never feeling tired in the afternoon that I used to do, and like you just feel like crashing on the couch and just watch a TV series or something because you don't have the energy to do anything else. So and other than that, I'm in contact with so many people. The happiest people are the ones that have been on the verge of burnout, with fatigue symptoms, migraines, muscle pains, really not functioning. And when they manage to regulate their stress levels, get back into their jobs, functioning with their family, getting rid of pains and headaches and brain fog that so many people have. They feel better, and then they tell all their friends on Instagram, and then they keep buying the book. That is still on the bestseller list now, more than 1.5 years after it was released. So getting, and part of the stress, of course, for me being an entrepreneur is all the people contacting me continually every day that I have to respond to, and starting to say no to things that I would have begged for, 2 or 3 years ago. So that also creates some stress, I must say, in my life. So now I really have to follow all the advice. I have to take my own medicine and follow all the advice in the book, really well, to keep afloat in these conditions.
I love that. With everything you're doing, what do you see yourself in 10 years? Where is Dr. Torkil in 10 years? What is he doing? How is he helping the world in dealing with the stressors of everyday life and entrepreneurial life?
Mm-hmm. I hope and think that in 10 years, either I or someone else will have made it common knowledge that you can track your health level, your stress level with variables, and control this part of your life. And that this will be an obvious thing for most people. They will maybe not even remember that I was the one starting it. But that this is, that everybody knows. Because what we're really talking about is knowing your physiological speed. Like in your car, of course, you know your speed as you go on the highway, or if you come into a town, there's different speed limits and that you should keep. And it's the same with our physiology, our bodies, so that they know that the heart rate will be able to tell them their physiological speed, and that they can keep a sustainable physiological speed over time that is compatible with good health. Not necessarily optimal health, but good enough health that your health is not in your way, that you can do and live your life as long as you're supposed to live, without disease and low function is in your way of enjoying your life. So I think we'll be there in 10 years, that this is just as common as talking to people on Zoom or having Zoom conferences, they also know how to control their own physiology.
I love that. And that's a great goal. I want to see more people taking control of their health and being able to control that stressor so that they live a healthier life. Because someone who hit burnout in 2020, I realized how important my health is to the mental health. When your body is in a better place, your mind becomes even better, or vice versa, your healthy mind.
Absolutely, because if you're in a burnout situation, your intellectual brain is not working. So you could have invested in yourself, in your intellectual brain, your prefrontal cortex for years. But if your basic stress balance is out of whack, it doesn't work. That's probably your experience too.
Oh yeah, it was a very dark time. I had a lot of knowledge, but it was useless, and I was just coasting, trying to survive, trying just to stay alive, if you will. I would love to get some practical tips for the listeners, for those who want to go down this route of, the pulse variable, the heart rate variable. What are some practical tips that they can start today to do so that they can start taking control of the variables in their health?
Yeah. What they will find out. So what they should do is that they should buy a Garmin watch. That is the best product. Now, I'm not affiliated with it, but it's the best product. And without that product, I could not have written the book. So it's really dependent on that. And similar good products will come, I'm sure. But they should get a Garmin watch. Other than that, they can learn the things that I'm going to say now that the ones with the watches have found out. And that is, you need good sleep. So you need 7 or 8 hours of good sleep every night to recover well and to let your body do the recovery work and allow it to do that. And then you need to wind down the last 1 or 2 hours before you go to bed, dim the lights, calm down, read a book, do something that is calming you down. You should have the bedroom really dark, as dark as you can see a hand in front of you, a bit cool. I don't exactly know the Fahrenheit degrees, but I think we're talking less than 65, maybe 62 degrees Fahrenheit. And you should try to go to bed and wake up at the same time every day. In that way, you will sleep more effectively. So if you think of sleeping even less than 7 hours, at least that must be very regular. And there's a lot at stake. If you sleep less than 6 hours compared to more than 7 hours, you double your cancer risk. So it's not only uncomfortable, but it's positioning you for serious disease if you don't get enough sleep. It's dangerous. Number two, that I would what people will be really shocked by when they use the wearables is the kind of stress that alcohol gives them through the night. So it really saps them of powers. You feel better and calm in the evening, but it will create a lot of stress at night. So if you can cut out the unnecessary glasses or bottles of alcohol, and just keep, with the good friends and a birthday party and the special occasions, that would be a good thing. Also, it will be important to eat whole foods. Try to stay away from processed foods. Try to stay away from food like pizza, bakery goods. It can be a lot of stress for many people. And also, sweets, candy, crisps, and so on. People will see that on their wearables that it creates stress. It feels good, but it creates stress on your system. More than that, it's important to have a good fitness level, to be able to run some distance, to get to exercise. I think but probably like 1.5 hours every week, or 2 hours. And also make sure that you get some strength exercise, that you can do push-ups or squats or burpees or make sure that you have muscles. That is also important for your brain. We now know that when you use your muscles, there are proteins that will be made that will sharpen the connections in your brain. So for an entrepreneur, working out should be considered part of the job. It will also make it easier for you to concentrate and do your job and remember things. So I would put that in as in my job description. On the watches, you will also be able to see your fitness level. A lot of them will give you an estimate of your VO2 max, which is a measure of how well your cells are working. More than that, you should you should learn tricks to calm yourself down, to down regulate your intensity, and the best things for that is breath work. To be able to breathe slowly, preferably around 6 breaths a minute. So that will be 10 seconds, on each in and out breath, and then use that, spread out throughout the day, before a phone call, before a meeting, when you're driving to work, on the bus or whatever, to be able to down-regulate your nervous system by your breath. Cold showers, cold plunges will also work very effectively. More than that, I think if they can do these things, they're quite on their way. And then and also maybe be careful not to eat late at night. So stop eating the last meal maybe 3 or 4 hours before you go to bed. That will make for a better and more restorative sleep.
I can attest to one, cutting out alcohol has helped me dramatically reduce my stress and lose weight too, which is always a plus. And the breathing as well has helped me. I follow Wim Hoffman method of breathing as well. I don't go as hardcore as the Iceman does it, but understanding that the breathing is a very powerful tool is wise, and it has helped me regulate my stress. So those are some amazing pieces of advice. I'm curious, as we're winding down here, what is something you do to invest in yourself? I know you mentioned you read, but are there other items or other things that you do to invest in yourself to become a better version of yourself?
That would be reading a lot. Reading is also relaxing, so then you can relax and recover and become wiser. So it's great advice. I've been doing a lot of photography. I've been a photography workshop instructor for many years. I've been holding workshops all around the world in photography. And in photography, I've been particular about attending workshops myself, going to workshops all over the globe, learning from the best people and investing in knowledge. So whatever your field is, to find the best people, see if they're available, even if it's online courses or you can meet them in person, just find out how can I learn more of what I need to learn.
I love that. And especially living in Norway, you have a beautiful country to photograph. So you're very lucky to have that ability to take beautiful pictures and feel like your skills are much better than some of us in some other countries. I'm interested to know, as we wind down here, what is one piece of advice you would love to be able to hand back to your 10-year-old self? It could be anything. What's some advice or one piece of advice you would like to give back to your 10-year-old self?
Yeah, I'm lucky enough that what I must come back to on that kind of a question is the advice that I gave myself as a 10 or 12-year-old myself, and that was just to enjoy the life to the maximum, to make sure that you control your life and that you plan your life to make the most out of it, and not just be governed by other people's agendas and what they want, but that you take control yourself and that you try to make several lifetimes into one life, So you just don't live one life, but you try to split up your life in 1 year or half years that you experience something really unique, so that you can almost pack a whole lifetime of experience into 1 year or 2 years. And this way you can live many lives. So that is what I was aiming for as a 10-year-old, and the strategy has worked very well. So I would keep giving that advice.
That is some heavy advice and wise advice too, to be able to live more than one life. I love that. Pack as much as you can in one life. I'm going to jump off stage here, Doctor. I want you to let my audience know where they can follow you, where they can purchase the Pulse Code, so that they can become a better version of themselves and lower that stress. So the floor, sir, is yours.
Yeah, the Pulse Cure is a normal book. You can get it on Amazon, and it's also an audio book. That could be easier. You can go, if you have an iPhone, you just go in the book app and you find it, in 2 touches now. It's an ebook, and also we have the pulsecure.com, which where you can go in and you can see a video lecture, 1-hour video lecture, where I explain everything in detail, how you can do this.
Amazing. Dr. Torkil, thank you so much for being here, educating us on how important it is to know about our heart rate variable and bring down that stress level, so entrepreneurs across the world can have a better life and have a longer life without stress. So I thank you very much for being here.
Thank you for having me on your show. Thank you very much.
To my audience, make sure you check out the show notes down below so that you can connect with Dr. Torkil and figure out how you can limit your stress through the Pulse Code. All the links will be down there. And I thank you so much for listening. Thank you again, Doctor, for being here. And remember to always invest in yourself.
You just realized your business needed to hire someone yesterday. How can you find amazing candidates fast? Easy. Just use Indeed. Stop struggling to get your job post seen on other job sites. With Indeed sponsored jobs, your post jumps to the top of the page for your relevant candidates, so you can reach the people you want faster. According to Indeed data, sponsored jobs posted directly on Indeed have 45% more applications than non-sponsored jobs. Don't wait any longer. Speed up your hiring right now with Indeed. And listeners of this show will get a $75 sponsored job credit to get your jobs more visibility at Indeed.com/kidsandfamily. Just go to Indeed.com/kidsandfamily right now and support our show by saying you heard about Indeed on this podcast. Terms and conditions apply. Hiring? Indeed is all you need.